welcome to this short tutorial on the classical symphony, Symphony No. 1 by Prokofiev. What I just played was the notorious D major scale from the last movement, and that was at half note equals 152. What I'd like to do today is walk you through the fingerings to help facilitate the execution of that scale at that tempo. So this is really a three-part series that would cover the D major scale, the arpeggios at the end, and then the noodles, which is the stuff around high A, high B towards the beginning. I'm just going to focus on the D major scale today because I think that's probably the most helpful. So if we look at the notes that are in this scale, we have 8 different pitches. I'm going to move my bubble over here so you can see the first ones. So you essentially have F sharp 2 as your first note, which is, the numbers are referring to the octave above middle C. So this is the F sharp, the second F sharp above middle C, the A above that, the D, which is the D3, 2 lines off the staff, F sharp above that, and then your flute high A, high B natural, high C sharp, and high D4. Now, if we look at these different pitches, I'm going to give you some pointers that are things that I have picked up over the years that have been helpful. So you start the scale with your regular F sharp, so 1, 2, 3, thumb on regular B, ring finger F sharp, and then your pinky is on the E flat key or the D flat key, depending on how you do it. So that'll be your regular F sharp. Okay. Then the first trick is when you go from the F sharp to the A, you're going to take your right hand completely off the flute. Now, not this high, but you're going to take it off the flute so that you can get ready to put it onto the gizmo key by the time you get to the F sharp. So I'll go through that slowly, exaggerating the motion. So with the F sharp, so when you're on the A, your right hand is completely free. You go to the D, right hand is still completely free. So that when you go to the F sharp, which is going to be a harmonic B that you're overblowing, a harmonic B natural, you can come down onto the gizmo key. This is now assuming that you're on a B foot flute. For C flutes, C foot flutes can be a little different. So when you get to the F sharp, it needs a lot of air, a lot of support, but you're basically fingering a B natural, but instead of being on the D sharp key, your pinky is on the gizmo key. So the way that sounds and looks coming into it, okay? So that's really the first half of it. Now, you should think of that F sharp 3 as your landing point. It's your safety. You need to land on that, and that's the sort of pivot point between the first half of the scale and the second half of the scale. Up until now, it actually hasn't been a scale, it's been an arpeggio to be, if we want to get technical. So the first half is really arpeggio, and then it goes into the scale really only from the A. So let's look at the second half of the scale, but starting from that F sharp. So the reason that you have your pinky on the gizmo key on that F sharp, if you look across the fingering chart here, that gizmo key, which is the black line on the low B, stays down for the entire rest of the passage. And that's going to become really helpful when you get up higher, because the whole point of this exercise is to be able to move as few fingers as possible between notes. So let's go from the F sharp, which is our landing point. So we're on that F sharp, which is basically a B harmonic with the gizmo key down. We're going to go to the A, which is the 5th note on here. Now that is a fingering which is a form of a harmonic. It's basically you have your your low A or your regular A, which is 1, 2 plus the back, and then you have your first finger on your right hand and the gizmo key. This is a hybrid between low A and high A. High A would be without the thing here. Keeping this down allows you to not have to move this index finger, which is one less finger to move. So going from the F sharp to the A, we have, okay, fairly straightforward. You're only moving 2 fingers, this one and this one, okay? Then to go from the A to the B you're going to use your regular high B fingering. The only difference is that you're going to have the gizmo key down instead of the D sharp key. Okay, so keeping that gizmo key down all the way through, you'll find it speaks just fine. High B. So your regular high B, which is 1, 3 plus the back, second trill key, and gizmo key instead of D sharp. Okay, and here the C sharp 4, this is really the $1 million fingering here. Because for me, I always struggled with the high C sharp fingerings that involved the G sharp or the A flat key. Getting to them and getting to that key and getting away from it was always the challenge for me. So by using a different fingering that does not use the G sharp or the A flat key, you will be able to get a C sharp it's a little flat, but it is at the speed that you'll be going, it will be imperceptible. And if you look closely, it's actually the exact same fingering as the A3 in the middle of this page. So this A3 can be overblown to give you C sharp 4 without changing any fingers. Now keep in mind, this will only work on a flute with a B foot. I do not think this works on a C foot flute. So if you go to your A3 with the fingering that's on this slide, and you go to your B, and then you go back to the same fingering but with more pressure and more air, you'll find you'll get a major third higher. And there's your high C sharp 4. It's a little flat. It's about 20 cents flat, according to my tuner here. But no one's going to notice when you're going at that speed. So what that allows you to do is basically toggle between 2 fingerings while getting 3 notes. So you're toggling between the high A and the high B fingering, but you're actually able to do 3 notes. So and you see it's pretty easy to get it to go pretty quickly because you're not moving very many fingers and you're not having to engage the G sharp key here. So then all you need to do is add your high D on top of that, which is more or less the traditional standard high D fingering, except for instead of having the C sharp and the C foot down, you will just stay on that gizmo key. And I think you'll find it speaks fairly easily when you're coming to it from the C sharp. So here it is from the A, slowly. Okay, so play around with that. Hopefully that works for you. Feel free to leave questions in the comments. And I'm also happy to share a PDF of this fingering chart in the description of the video. And if that doesn't work, feel free to send me a message or in the comments and I can get that to you.